This country's not in a good spot right now, but I hope it never gets this bad. Hey there everybody, welcome back to MF Reviews. I'm your host Michael, and today we're going to be talking about Civil War. A team of journalists travel across the United States during an escalating Second American Civil War to interview the president before rebel factions storm the Capitol. This movie is directed by Alex Garland, and the thing I really like about the A24 movies is that they always make you really think about your morals and life and all the dark and gritty details that make us a human being. A24 is not afraid to take on movies and projects that really make you think and use your critical thinking skills. I love putting my thinking cap on.
I am too smart. I am too smart.
Kirsten Dunst plays Lee, a veteran and hardened war photographer, with her partner Joel, played by Wagner Moura. They are joined by aspiring photographer Jesse, played by Kaylee Spaney, and veteran journalist Sammy, played by Stephen McKinley, who you might recognize from Dune. This movie, as you know, comes at a very convenient time as this is an election year. Many people in the country are divided right now. What I really liked about this movie is that it's not interested in creating labels and sides. It doesn't focus on policy or different factions. It's just a movie about these journalists in the thick of civil war and all the atrocities that occur along the way. It's a boots on the ground look at the horrors and conflict that this would bring to our home. After all, we are human beings and we have to ask ourselves, would we cross that line?
The so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat.
The question is, why are they fighting this civil war? And the answer is we just don't know. I think the director knew that if we had too many specifics, it would take away focus from the main story. And too many answers would get the audience to try to pick a side, whether you're on this side or that side, and I didn't want that. What I really liked was the way they deconstructed the human experience. It goes deeper than political parties. It goes straight to the core of the human psyche. This movie stays grounded with our four main characters on their journey. There's even a scene where they go to this idyllic small town, and everything's weird because it's normal. I mean, people are walking their dogs, they're watering their grass, they're out shopping, they're hanging out in the front porch. And our main characters are really confused. They're like, don't you know there's a massive civil war going on? Like, why aren't you affected by it?
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
And as we pan out on this small little town, you can see that there's snipers on the roof actually following their every move. And I feel like the director made us feel like we will never ever be truly safe in this world. And I really like that. I like wandering back roads, going to small towns, not knowing where I am, getting lost, and I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. I actually prefer it at least once a year. I just like getting lost and doing mischievous things by myself. I know, I'm creepy as. Speaking of creepy, this movie also stars Jesse Plemons, who, next to Adam Driver, is the creepiest guy I've ever seen. I looked up the cast on this movie on IMDb, and I looked up Jesse Plemons' character, and it just says actor. That's how creepy this mother really is. The most tense encounter comes when our journalists run into Jesse Plemons' character, and it's unclear to know what side he's on. Is he on the good side, the bad side? Is he on the West Federation? Is he with the United States? Is he even a real soldier? And I got to give credit to the director, Alex Garland, because he makes us feel like we're unsafe no matter what. We have little moments of levity and joy, and then we're back to reality. And this particular scene is so white-knuckled. It's so filled with tension. I loved it.
Okay. What kind of American are you?
His character had rose-colored glasses. I mean, this guy is seriously a huge red flag. And this scene just represents the chaos and confusion of war. Everyone is in camo and they have guns and trucks at the ready, and I love this setting. So as we get closer and closer to the Capitol, Lee and our young photographer Jesse get into a discussion about disassociating yourself from the trauma and the realities of war. Kirsten Dunst's character has been afflicted by violence for so many years, and you could see it on her face. And she put on a great performance because We're so used to seeing her smile with her little shark baby teeth, but in this movie, you can see the light and the life in her face is gone. She has no soul, and she's just dead inside. While our young Jesse is having all these kinds of meltdowns, Kirsten Dunst is like, no, you signed up to come with us. I warned you. And now you're going to have to deal with the consequences. And to her credit, Jesse does own it. And, you know, she's strong and she stays with the group. This movie does a great job of avoiding the political theater, and it just focuses on the dread of war and violence, and it stays focused on our group. There's so much tension, and there's even these standoffs with other characters, and you don't know if they're good guys or bad guys. And it just adds another layer of terror because these are not an obvious enemy. These are other Americans. These are other citizens. They look like us. They speak like us. They're in the same situation. While we have to decipher if they're on our side or the bad side, and they're just holding the characters at gunpoint. It's very, very serious, and it's something different, and it makes you really think about who we are and what is it going to take to avoid this situation, because this is scary stuff. You don't know who's a good guy or a bad guy, and for 2 hours you're on the edge of your seat, and when it's over you can finally breathe. I also really like how they chose Nick Offerman to be the president, and it's funny because in Parks and Rec he plays Ron Swanson, who loves America. He loves the Constitution and defends it, and it's funny how they selected him in this cast to play the president. And everybody's out to get him. Everybody hates this guy. He's on a 3rd term for presidency. And it just makes you kind of care about him in a weird way. But it's just the genius of this movie, how they picked a guy that we know and like. And he's very charismatic and very, very smart. But at the same time, we are rooting for him to like fail, you know? Guys, I'm fresh out of the theater, and as I was leaving, I was trying to think of negatives for this movie, and to be honest, I can't think of any. I walked out of there with other members in the audience thinking and looking introspectively. And when a movie can make you think about it and stay kind of quiet and walk to your vehicle, and you're just pondering like, what kind of American citizen am I? Like, do we really want to see this in reality, or are we going to learn from this movie? I love movies that make you think inward and kind of really reflect on the kind of person you are. And at the same time, it had great action, great acting, lots of drama, lots of tension. And that's why I'm going to give Civil War,
No, don't do it!
an A-. The ending of this movie is going to upset a lot of people. Leave your comments below what you thought. No spoilers, of course, but it's a not so subtle, not so obvious ending, which kind of suited the tone of this movie, and I think it fit pretty good. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for returning to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, guys, and thank you so much. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. God bless, and we will see you on the next one.